These Sundays in 2025 have been full of drama and so much fun. And I have a new computer, so I'm trying to figure it out. I'm in Nashville this morning. Are we going to talk Titans? Probably not, but we will talk. Little pancake pantry here today, little Hattie B's, little, what else do I like around here? Husk. I love little Tootsie's, Bluebird Cafe, all the things, Fido coffee, whatever it is. There's so much going on in the NFL. Week 10 was bananas. Last night, kind of a snooze fest for me, but best game of the weekend. We got to go talk Bucks, right? Bucks Patriots, that was the one. Patriots contenders, Drake May, best quarterback in the NFL. Jonathan Taylor, best player. Let's talk about the odds. Trying to figure out new technology. Matthew Hamilton on this Monday. Terron Armstead is on the show. We'll dish out some attaboys here. But great performances. Will be tough to not give one to Jonathan Taylor, but I feel like we're going to talk about him right here front and center.
Oh, yeah. He is front and center in that MVP conversation right now, too. But what an incredible performance out of him. Yeah. Just putting the team on his back down the stretch, like a top 20 rushing performance of all time.
Early in the morning, and people definitely chose him as their anytime touchdown scorer and were rewarded. Your boy AP also got in the end zone. We had Tyler Algier with the first touchdown score of Week 10. In case you need like a hair mask or a Medicube facial exfoliation pad.
Sure. I know what both of those things are, for sure.
You just let me know. New Rochelle still in the mix in the playoffs. We'll get to that later this week, but let's keep talking about the chaos from yesterday. And the best thing that we like to do here is set the table, right? Let's set the table here. I got some pancakes. I got my coffee. And if you look at the NFC, that's where I'd like to start because this is where it stands. The Seahawks have moved into the 1 seed. Woo! Dominant performance. They were 28-zip. Going into the second quarter, not even at halftime, was bananas. Eagles can take it back, of course, if they beat the Packers tonight. That is wild. And it feels sort of criminal that the Rams are currently the 5 seed at 7-2. After yesterday, the Bears have now entered the playoff picture. So we've got 3 NFC North teams in the field as of this morning. Let's take a look at the AFC side, shall we? The Colts still in the top spot. They hold the tiebreaker in a 3-way tie situation with the Broncos and the Patriots. Those are the 3 best teams right now. Who do you trust more? The Colts, the Broncos, the Patriots. Which quarterback? Probably Drake May. Which coach? Ooh, that's a toss-up with how Braves has this defense playing. Obviously, Sean Payton, he's been there, done that, actually won. Lots of good conversations here about this 3-way tie. New England, a game and a half up on Buffalo. Not a happy Josh Allen on the sideline yesterday. The Bills lose to Miami. The Steelers lead in the AFC North. That's down to 1 game over the Ravens. KC now tied with Jacksonville for the final wildcard spot over on FanDuel Sportsbook. The Jags blew that lead in Houston after I said the Jags are about to heat up and do some things in the second half. Oops. I was wrong. And there really is a real chance that we see, this is the wildest part of this world, there's a chance that we see the Bills and the Chiefs going at it, playing on Wild Card Weekend on the road, mind you. That's a world I'd like to live in for once in my day. So that'd be pretty fun. The game of the day was definitely, I mean, the Colts pulling it out was great, but it was Patriots Bucks. You just saw the helmets going at it, and they did until the last minute of this one. This was the one. Massive perspective changing win for the Patriots, because going into yesterday, they have this amazing win over Josh Allen and the Bills and all of that, and that was great. But they have some weird losses to the Steelers, losses to the Raiders, so that they needed this one badly to sort of solidify them and really be looked at as the contenders that they are. And they could have gotten the crap beat out of them in this one by this Bucks team. And there were some little weebly wobbly moments, but they pulled it out, and they really are one of the best teams in the AFC with maybe the best quarterback. Who's playing better than Drake May right now in the AFC? Nobody. I wasn't buying the schedule talk with them, but they needed this one. And Drake, I liked seeing him respond to some adversity. He showed us why he's a young quarterback, too, with some weird decisions. The ball, the wet ball was a thing. I think wet ball hand-sized Twitter is going to be a thing. I don't know that Drake May has the most experience in weather, Cal Filson says no, so he's going to have to get used to that in the playoffs. I don't want to see any weather if they're going to do anything. But gosh, the whole question last week was, with this roster, can they go to a Super Bowl? Surely they can. Surely they can. Even with that big red zone turnover, you got to think Drake will learn from that. That is a mistake that Patrick is not going to make. Josh Allen, unlikely to make. That was sort of like that youth and experience. We haven't seen him make a bad decision like that in a bit, but I don't know. I'm so in the defense, Vrabel, just having these guys playing tremendously. I'm here in Nashville where he was the head coach, and then it's really amazing. Can we look at Hamilton? Can you quickly jump in? What's Vrabes as far as coach of the year on FanDuel Sportsbook? So if you could just look that up. The defense looks phenomenal, and every week the offense is more and more convincing. And it's good to win these like crazy games like this. That's a true contender in the Bucs. I'm not jumping ship on the Bucs yet. I think they win the division. Their road is pretty. But the Patriots, I think they're going to beat the Bills. And I love that they finally gave it to Travion. You drafted him. Pats fans, I'm very plugged into this fan base, Hamilton, before we get to they've been wanting to feed Henderson this entire time, even when Ramondre was healthy, all of this. And he finally got his chance to hit some home runs, and boy, did he hit him out the park.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. And am I allowed to call for some wins of change? Because we have some wins of change here this morning.
Please do.
When it comes to the coach of the year.
It's snowing in Nashville, but I don't know if it's windy. Let me look at the winds of change. Talk to me.
All right, so Mike Vrabel has now overtaken Shane Steichen as the favorite for coach of the year. He's plus 125. Shane Steichen is plus 140. And then everybody else is kind of back at their heels. So it's those two right now at the forefront of the race.
What's the case for Shane over Vrabel, Matthew?
I think it's
bigger wins.
They've had a couple. I think it's the Daniel Jones aspect of it, the perception that, that Daniel was a reclamation project and Steichen is getting the best out of him and making all this work with a quarterback who wasn't super successful in his last spot. I'm just saying that would be the case for Steichen.
No, I'm not saying
and we'll see how
this plays. Yeah, to make the case.
Yeah. So I think a lot of this is going to determine. If the Colts get that 1 seed, it'll probably be Steichen. If the Patriots end up taking it, it'll probably be Vrabel. I think you also do have to consider with Vrabel, Mike McDonald at plus 450.
No, so it's between. This is a. Although the Seahawks looked so good. I think it's as far. Oh gosh, I don't know. I think as far as storylines and I know how this stuff works, it's going to be between Vrabel and it is where it is in Steichen. Hard to not give it to both of them. That's going to be a neck and neck one. That's going to matter game in, game out situationally throughout the season. What were you going to say about Braves?
I was going to say the thing that goes in Vrabel's favor here too is that division. If you unseat the Bills, that's the AFC South was kind of up in the air regardless. It wasn't like a strong team. If you're able to unseat the Bills, if they beat the Bills twice, it's going to be hard not to give it to them.
Drake May, best quarterback in the AFC? Yes, by far.
I think he's playing. He's playing like it right now. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Are you into Cal wet ball Twitter? Are you into that?
I do think that was absolutely a thing. Yeah, it was. You saw it early. There were throws that were just sailing on him. He's been so accurate all year, and it was clearly affecting him early. And he settled in as the game went. But that will be something to watch as we go into the playoffs. We saw it with Brock Purdy in that Packers game when we got a rainy game, and that Niners offense struggled. I think it could have a similar type of impact on Drake with having a little bit of a smaller hand size than the typical quarterback his size.
And I feel like, obviously, if you're talking about Daniel Jones v. Drake, maybe whatever, the run game hasn't been something to write home about with the Patriots this year. It hasn't. Yeah. It hasn't clicked really. So we bring up Travion Henderson. We bring up this team as a contender in the AFC, and they are. The Pats were bottom 6. Credit to May. Credit to everything they're doing defensively to stay in games, win games, all of this. Obviously, the decision-making of Drake, all of this is working. Stephon Diggs, by the way, always making the biggest play of the day on weird spots. He's just meant for these big moments. He's got to be in the playoffs. That onside, that's theater for Stephon Diggs. I will say and Kyle Williams. It's just fun. It's just all really, really fun. And I like how they're doing it. But the run game's a big reason after this win to give them confidence up against the Tampa Bay defense. Like, what are we doing? They were bottom 6, Ham, in both yards. And I know that you know this because you told me this morning. But they were bottom 6 in both yards and yards per carry heading into yesterday's game. So I was like, oh. But if they get Travion going like this is like the Ohio State Travion that we know and love. Why you spent a 2nd-round pick. This was like I hope Elliot Wolf is, Elliot with 1L is popping bottles of champagne after this game because you look so smart. And this is also like, you look smart for not, like me, I'm like, make a move. You make me look dumb because I said make a move, add something, do something. Like, no, you don't have to do squat at the deadline and you still look like this. So happy for everybody. And this is all going to continue. And I can't wait to see it. By the way, you brought up some winds of change. There are also some winds of change on FanDuel Sports. But, ooh, yeah, lots going on. Winds of change at the most valuable position race. Okay, major turn. So the aforementioned Drake May Stafford, they're the co-favorites at plus 300. Jonathan Taylor jumps up to 3rd at plus 500. He gets another 3 touchdowns, early game in Berlin. Insane. He has 244. In that one, which is insane. He cracks top 20 all time. Jonathan Taylor now has 2 of the top 20 single game performances in all of NFL history in his career. Josh Allen drops. This is a steep loss from 1st to 5th after that loss to the Dolphins. What do you guys think about that Up and Adams show? Let's talk about that co-favorite for MVP. Okay, let's talk about Matthew Stafford. I can honestly say that no quarterback in the National Football League is playing better football than him right now. Not Drake May, not Mahomes, who was at Texas Tech this weekend. When he gets back and maybe goes on a tear and digs them out of their situation and goes to the Super Bowl. No one right now. This is like one of the best stretches that we've seen. And we continue to give it love here on the Up and Adams show. He adds 4 more passing touchdowns yesterday. He's up to a league-leading 25 on the year, just 2 interceptions. It must be so fun for him. It must be so fun for Devontae Adams. Really imagine what this must be like for them, okay? And really, that might be the most remarkable thing here. League-leading 25, just 2 picks. Even in the Super Bowl winning season, he's, Matthew Stafford's done this a lot in his career. He takes the shots, he gives his guys a chance to make plays, and he leads the league in picks. He did his Super Bowl year. Nobody cares, and you shouldn't. But the fact that he's cutting those out somehow, like, how did that happen? At this age, old dog, new tricks, and they're still slinging the ball as aggressively as ever. If you're looking at here, he becomes the 7th quarterback in NFL history to throw 4 or more touchdown passes in 3 straight games. He is the first ever to do it without throwing an interception in the process. So 3 of those other guys on the list won MVP, by the way. This is his Campton campaign. We know he's headed there no matter what, but it helps, right? And the way that this year is shaping up, he is completely undeniable and will likely continue to be. I'm so fired up for it. It's Rams Seahawks, I believe. Yes, look at this. Okay, so this is first place on the line in the West. Possibly even first place in the NFC, depending on what happens in Green Bay tonight. Complete football. This might be the game of the year, which I love. Rams Seahawks, and McDonald's does deserve some Coach of the Year love. Okay, Terron Armstead is set to join us in just a second, so do want to hit really quickly. Last night, did I want to start the show with it? No, and so we didn't. The Chargers were able to stay within a game of the Broncos. That's huge. They're 2 games up on KC, which is great and important and will matter. But my big takeaway, I think last night, that the Chargers, they established what can be a game-winning identity, even if they have injuries offensively, which they haven't really done. And it's, this swarming defense that is giving them this opportunity to be a pain in the ass down the stretch and in the playoffs. If you look at it, we're just not going to see Herbert air it out the way he did earlier in the year because Joe Alt is not there. It was a huge Terron Armstead. I'm sure we'll want to talk about this. He got sacked 5 times last night. Even when the Chargers stick to shorter passes, he's still getting sacked. So there's lots of talent, but when the defense is playing like this, before that final garbage time touchdown drive, when you're able to hold the Steelers without a 3rd down conversion, Aaron Rodgers' worst single game passer rating of his entire career. This defense had hit some struggles early in the season. Mac is the key. Mac is healthy. Go get a ring. Go be contenders. They're playing like the number one defense they were a year ago. And over the last 3 weeks, they're giving up 8.7 offensive points per game. They're number one total defense. And that's where the Chargers should be, headed after last night with some playoff wins this year. This gives them a path. They get the Jags next week. They get a bye. Can we see it? Yeah, there we go. They get the Jags next week, a bye. And I'm hearing whispers that Hampton might be back by that Raiders game. That could be huge because they could be 9-3. And then they go back-to-back against Philly and KC in those pivotal games, that rematch from week 1. Steelers, I don't know what to say here. I'll say it in the break. Let's go to a break. We'll bring in Terron Armstead, and I'll tell you my thoughts on the Steelers. My main thought, of course. And that's why you should subscribe to the YouTube. Terron Armstead on the show. We'll get to the Steelers. Here he is. Oh, I've got questions. The world does not know this wife yet?
We do not know. We still do not know.
One of my main texts to you was about this yesterday.
Yes.
And I know that I think people think, I don't know. I know less than I've ever known. I don't know diddly squat about it. And I forgot about it until yesterday when it became like... 10 weeks in it's actually so impressive. That might be in the lore of what Aaron has been able to do in his illustrious, undeniable 20 years, million MVPs, whatever, coming back from this injury, keeping that under wraps. Like there's no like curious people in Pittsburgh. There's no like people following him around. There's no like, nobody's trying, no TikTokers trying to get to the bottom of this. It's impressive.
Yeah.
Damn near impossible.
No teammate even letting it slip by accident or anything like that. Like,
it appears they don't know.
Yeah,
that's what it appears like, that they don't know. Maybe Armstead. I do want to say the defense played well. We expect it to, I guess. How come the offense can't do anything right? Here come the Ravens. The Ravens could be the only team. I don't know. I like the Ravens right now a little more than the Bills. Sorry. Because Lamar's back and they can just go, and they've never really proved that they can go ham. But I'm a little convinced they've got a gauntlet. By the way, the rest of the season. If you look at the Steelers, let's take a look. I think we have it. Okay. So you got to play the Ravens twice still. They haven't played them at all, huh? Can we take a look at that?
No. And again, that Ravens defense is coming along.
Can we see the schedule? Okay, so here it is. They got 2 against the Ravens, Buffalo, Detroit, and Chicago. If I see Chicago, oof, you don't know what you're going to get with the Steelers, and that's my problem. Like, do we really want to see another postseason where this team sneaks into the playoffs to get crushed on Wild Card Weekend? I don't want to see that. I'd love to see Aaron get another shot at a run here. But at this point of the year, I should know what I'm going to get with the team. And I don't have that with the Steelers. And gosh, I don't know what I'm going to get with I know what I'm getting out of the Eagles tonight, a tush push 90 times a game. But I don't know what I'm getting out of the Packers tonight. I'm scared the Packers are going to be emotional.
Yeah. You think that the emotions of this all hit them more than the Eagles side of it?
Yeah. I mean, Sirianni's emotional, but
yeah,
we're either going to get week 1 Packers stomping on the Lions, but I'm not convinced.
Full speed on, I'm running. Staying on top, I'm winning. Can't stop me, get ready.
Physically, he's at a different level. Knocking down everyone. He's definitely been the top player in the league for a while.
Let's get it.
When he gets his hands on you, it's over with.
5-time Pro Bowl tackle, 12 seasons in the league, host of The Set with T-Stead. It's Terron Armstead, who, of course, listen, we have good energy. Last week, we're like, we'd love to get Terron on to break down week 10 and what happens the Dolphins win. Like, this was the vibe.
It's not by accident, Kay. You know?
Yeah. You called the upset. People think this is a broken team. But when I'm watching, they're fighting. They're fighting. So how much life, Terron, do you think is left between the McDaniel-Tua combo?
There's hope. There's hope in South Florida, in that beautiful city of Miami. last night's win was impressive It wasn't a trap game. Buffalo already had their trap game. They already had the game, the team that they looked over, and they came away with a loss against Atlanta. This was not that. They are fighting to keep up with the Patriots and regain the division that they have dominated for years. So this was a prepared Buffalo Bills team that was outplayed, out-physicaled, out-executed. Miami really put things together, and they got a dominant win against a very good team.
Josh Allen had the longest time to throw of his career yesterday. He had over 3.5 seconds. I saw him running around. He was buying time to try to make things work. How much of this Bills offensive dud, you said outplayed, out-prepared, how much of it is a receiving issue, a receiver issue?
Yeah, I mean, they don't have a ton of weapons, ton of guys that can just really go win over and over, one-on-one opportunities. I'm pretty sure Buffalo was a team that was really active before the trade deadline, trying to improve that position. I even heard whispers of them asking the Dolphins about a Jalen Waddle trade. That'll never happen. That's against all the rules. That's against all things football. We're not doing that. So I'm sure they were trying to find ways to elevate that receiver room. But let's not make excuses for these guys. They have been efficient. They have put up points at the highest level in the league for years. They have weapons, an incredible offensive line. James Cook is one of the best running backs in the league, and receiving backs as well. So we won't make these excuses.
I had James Cook on the show last week, and I was excited that he said he doesn't get the love he deserves, even though he got paid, all of that. And most of the sentiment, it went pretty viral, him saying that. And a lot of it was Bills fans saying he just, like, we focus too much on Josh. We're propping up Josh. Josh has support. Josh can get it done. And then I just think that there's something about this Miami mystique, though. You were there. I know it's hot. I could tell Josh was like uncomfortable even sitting on the bench. Like there's that whole, how would you describe the strength of the Miami mystique?
It's real. It's real. It's more so a real thing at the beginning of the season. Those first 6 weeks, that's the real heat. It's a problem. Right now, getting into November, 80 some degrees. Well, listen, you play the game wherever the schedule says. We've been in situations that was not favorable.
Yeah.
The Kansas City Chiefs playoff game specifically. I will forever make that excuse. No question. That was different. But we can't give any other narratives to this situation. The Miami Dolphins outplayed the Buffalo Bills yesterday.
Yeah.
Just straight line.
I love that you're saying that.
They did it.
So what does that mean? What does that do for this team? Like, what happens even today? Like, what does this win over the Bills? What's my takeaway on the Dolphin side?
It gives hope. It gives an energy and an attitude that I'll say it, Kay. Look out. They have an opportunity right now. They have an opportunity right now with this run of games that all of them are winnable. You can start to find a consistency and an energy and an identity of this is the style and the brand of football that we want to play on a weekly basis. You get a convincing win like that against a really good team, a prepared team, you know that you're capable. That just builds that confidence. And I'm looking at the Dolphins schedule. It's a run of favorable matchups.
Can we see the Dolphins schedule if we have it? I don't think that we were prepared for that, but it's so funny because in producing, there's a lot of Bills questions in here, and it's dumb of us to do. Like, obviously, it's about the not dumb of us, but like I should have known, thinking like, okay, well, no, let's talk about the Dolphins side in this. Now, what is it about the schedule that you love?
You got the Commanders in Madrid. They are struggling. They don't have their quarterback. Bye week, they get everyone healthy. The Saints, they just got their second win yesterday. The Jets, they just got their second win yesterday. Pittsburgh Steelers, who knows? Who knows what that team is? Cincinnati, like literally, these next 5 games, like, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to put too much pressure or expectation, but
yeah,
if there is a chance, if the stars could align, they have aligned right now for the Dolphins to try to make a run, to get back into this thing the best way that they possibly can.
Did yesterday's win mean that it's not over between Tua and McDaniel?
I still believe in those guys because the time that I spent there, what I seen from them as far as their work ethic, their preparation, their execution, we had success. We was the number one offense in the league. You know what I mean? So we can't just overshadow that like it doesn't mean anything. It does. It's 32 teams. So it has been done. It's a winning base. It's a winning and a production based business. So whatever Mike and Tua put out there on the field, it has to equate to wins. It has to equate to high level of production. They know that. The world knows that. I believe that they can. And this window of games right now, it's the perfect opportunity for them to do so. Also, Devon Achane. Just that alone, his name, Devon Achane. Boom.
Yeah, that I knew that was going to happen. This Buffalo run defense is bad. Not taking it away from him, but like you knew that if you were going to give him the ball, that was going to happen. Hopefully they do down the stretch. They can go somewhere. You're saying that maybe bought them some time together. Obviously, clearly injects confidence. Let's start with the first game yesterday, or to move on to that one. I just love Jonathan Taylor. I love everything. Every celebration he adds 3 more. What is that sort of head shake as as somebody who knows great running back play? What are you seeing? What's popping for you with him?
I'm seeing MVP. Seeing MVP, not Offensive Player of the Year. I'm seeing MVP because why not? Matt Stafford is there for sure. He's on fire. The Rams are rolling.
Let's take a look. I think we have the MVP update. Let's show you.
What we got going?
There you go.
Drake May balling. Yeah. No, look, I think at this point it's a 2-man race. Well, I won't say that. My fault. That's my Patriots haterism showing. I'm sorry, guys. Drake May is in that discussion for sure. I think Matt Stafford and Jonathan Taylor are doing things at a historic pace, especially for Jonathan Taylor. Running backs don't normally win MVP. I want to put his name and make sure his name stays in that conversation, not just Offensive Player of the Year, because that's what it is by default. He is doing things and leading a team in a way that is very rare for us to see. What he did yesterday, his performance yesterday, insane, incredible. And he's been doing it consistently. He's healthy. The O-line is playing extremely well. Great complementary football, too, with Daniel Jones and the downfield threats that they got. This Colts team is scary.
The offensive line's good for Jonathan Taylor and not good for Daniel Jones. So he leads scoring drives in big moments. And I hope you can make sense of this to me, but he's still somehow getting sacked 7 times. He's bleeding from the lips. How much do you trust Daniel Jones in those clutch moments?
I think it comes with reps, really. It's just more reps, more experience together, him getting more and more comfortable in the offense. Like we see Daniel Jones right now at week 9, 10. This wasn't the expectation week 1. And he had just got there. So he's been in this program for 6 months. So he's still trying to figure out, and they're getting more chemistry and cohesiveness. He has some receivers out of the lineup. Now they're back. And it just takes more time, in my opinion. It takes more time, more reps, more energy, getting a chance to go against more defensive schemes and find these answers. And as they continue to fine tune and have their growing pains, but they're winning during those growing pains, that's what bodes the confidence. That's what leads to the success in the back end of the season.
I don't want to compare them to the Eagles, but they're built, I'm looking at like the Eagles last year, right? It was Saquon really week in, week out, leading to this prolific year. And there were a lot of questions, but can Jalen throw? And people weren't convinced. And then you get to Spags in New Orleans at the Super Bowl. And Spags says, I'm going to stop Saquon, sell out just completely. And he effectively did. And now, Jalen, can you do it? And then he did. And he's got 2 all-pro elite receivers. I don't know that we have that with this Colts offense. So I'll ask you, in those situations, what do we need to see the rest of the season to believe that Daniel can do that kind of a thing, which he'll have to do in the playoffs, where he can pull a Jalen and be able to hit a Pittman, hit a Tyler Warren, and make that happen? Yeah. And should we maybe be wanting to see that more and less reliance on Jonathan Taylor?
I hesitate, Kay, to really give them that Eagles comparison.
Yeah, agree.
Because the difference with the Eagles, they had already proven that they can do it, that they had what it takes to get to the Super Bowl. Even though they didn't win it the first time, they proved that they can do it. They can win the big games in January and February. This situation is we're watching. We're watching it unfold. We're watching them develop, but they're winning through their growing pains. I will really compare this Colts team to what's happening in Denver.
Okay.
Like, they have growing pains. They have some ugly wins, but they're winning. And it's building confidence. It's building their personality as a team. It's building their character, all those things. Daniel Jones is showing us that he can lead late game drives and all those good things. It hasn't been the prettiest at all times, but he's effectively doing it. For us as fans, we really got to wait and see. We really just got to wait and see, watching
Well,
unfold.
you're calling it complimentary football, but the way, so like, I guess this is maybe this like too basic, the way that I'm looking at this, but like running the ball so well as the Colts are with Steichen, with Jonathan Taylor, with the way the O-line is working effectively for Jonathan Taylor, that like, shouldn't that slow down the pass rush? It's surprising to me that Daniel is getting hit so much. Is it to you?
Yeah.
And how do you what needs to happen there so that he's better protected?
Yeah, no, that is shocking. Once you see a guy running the ball like Jonathan Taylor, you usually load up everything for the run, and guys are not so much fixated on rushing the passer. Up front, those guys have been dominant in the run game. They have. They've been imposing their will and knocking the line of scrimmage back. But it's another side of that protection, and that is pass protection. They have to improve as a unit, alone as a unit. Daniel Jones can be more decisive, getting the ball out, check downs and all that, because they have such a deep threat style offense. It is longer throws. It is holding on to the ball longer in order to let these plays develop. They're hitting guys 60, 70 yards down the field. So when you go boom or bust in your play style, your passing game style, you hold the ball longer, that equals more sacks. So on a down-to-down basis, we can see them guys getting into a more rhythmic flow, getting the ball out better, taking those hits off Daniel Jones, not looking for as many deep shots because of that reason, trying to protect him more, getting the ball out to Jonathan Taylor more. He only had 3 receptions yesterday. Like, he's a great receiving back. So those check downs that I've seen Drew Brees throw for years, and he still threw for 5,000 yards, they're doing these deep shots. And when you do those, you got to hold the ball longer.
What I loved about it is that he was getting just the shit beat out of him, and he was still effective. Like, meaning I don't know, there's this perception that he's going to get rattled. And like, I don't see that. I didn't see that. I like that he was running around with like all that blood coming out of his mouth. I think it says something like you still were able to lead those awesome drives, given the fact that you were taking so many hits. I think that goes a long way just with people in general. I want to flip to the Patriots. Drake May is the leader at MVP right now, as you just saw on FanDuel Sportsbook. Those are the odds changes. He's the man. What are you seeing in this? And their run game wasn't working. Yesterday it was working, which is amazing. What are you seeing out of Drake May that has you convinced or not convinced that this team is a contender?
He's a playmaker, like, simply. Okay, the young man just makes plays. He's fearless. He'll take a hit, and he's showing his accuracy and his precision. His pre-snap process looks up to par. And the dangerous part about him, he is really fast. Like, it's not just that he can extend a play with it. Like, he sliding. If Drake May gets an opening, he can roll. He's up there in the speed with Josh Allen and those guys. So, man, he's a real threat. He's a real problem. It pains me to say, because I'm not a fan of those guys. I'll never be. But I do respect what they're doing. I respect Mike Vrabel to the highest level. He is very sure about this type of team that he wants to have and the style of football they will play. They'll be a smart, tough team. They won't beat themselves, all those good things. And it equates to wins. He knows how to create a culture, and they're doing it.
If you look at the AFC standings, and I think we have them here, there's an 8-2 situation. It's the Colts we just talked about, the Broncos who you brought up, and the Patriots. They're all tied up. Which of those three do you have the most faith in, all things considered?
I'm going Broncos. I'm going Broncos. Sean Payton. I know him very well. I trust the guy. I trust that he just finds a way to win that game. That game. He'll win a game 3-0. He'll win a game 31-28. It really doesn't matter. Like, they're never rattled. They're never out of anything. Their O-line and D-line is super fire. And when you're built that way, when those two lines are constructed that way, you got a chance to beat anybody any given Sunday, really. So I love what the Broncos have going on. Even in the ups and downs of the offense and the ugly wins, they're winning. They're building confidence. They're building character. And Bo Nix will continue to get better. Like, he's gonna grow. He's gonna get to a point. And we've seen him light it up, 4 touchdown games, and we also seen him have a stinker like he did last week. But they're winning. So.
But you're not talking about him like you're talking about Drake May.
I think it's different. Okay, I think it's different. It's more. Bo is playing a more backyard style of offense. It's more extended plays, freestyling, not necessarily in the timing of the play. I think Drake May is doing an exceptional job of knowing where he's going before the snap. I think he's getting up to the line, diagnosing the defense, and really, like, Stephon, I'm coming to you, like, before the snap. I think Bo Nix is still allowing everything to unfold and seeing it before he makes these throws. I'm not seeing as much anticipation from him as I'm seeing from Drake May. But the playmaking ability, Bo, he's doing that. And the late game situations, fourth quarter, 2-minute drives. He's showing that in an early age, which is impressive.
We were getting Drew Brees comps for Bo last year. This is not the Bo that we saw last year. So I'm curious what if we could dial in Coach Payton and say, I'd love to see that. I mean, I said my piece. I want them to run the ball more. I want them to do that more. And it feels like with Bo, it was not like that last year.
Yeah. I don't want to give Bo the Drew Brees comparison. Different quarterback, different style, different stature. Bo's a big body. You know what I mean? He's a bruiser, really, and he's very athletic. He can run. Drew, love him to death. He's slow. I was faster than Drew. He knows that. So, but he was a surgeon. He was so precise, accurate. He knew where everyone on the field would be. But
Bo was doing that. Bo was getting the ball out exactly where it needed to be last year. Are you gaslighting me, or am I wrong?
No, not at all. Not at all. This is the thing, okay? This is the difference. So Sean Payton does a great job of playing people to their strengths, or like putting them in position to be successful. Yes. So last year, rookie Bo, we're not going to add these double routes and these complex concepts. We're going to have a more simplistic offense. We're going to have this slant drag concept. We're going to check downs to the running back, these receiver screens. Now we're seeing these long developing plays. We're seeing more dynamic motions. We're seeing some even trick plays on. So he's adding more to Bo's plate. He's adding more and having more tools. You have to kind of decide and decipher which ones you're going to use. So the playbook and the game plan for Bo has evolved. And his play will continue to evolve too, but it's a process. We got to trust the process.
Yeah, you have belief in the defense and that Coach Payton in that game when it comes in the AFC, that Coach Coach knows how to win it. And that's a hard thing to argue. That's a hard thing to argue because he's been there, he's done that. Vrabel got his team, that Jags team, to 2017. Obviously, like, what he's doing is incredible. Coach of the year, hopeful. But the fact that we have seen Sean go and do that, there has to be something baked in that that is super, super impressive. I want to ask you about Dan Campbell. You spent like 5 years with him? Yeah. Okay. Maybe not in the same room, but you know him. He takes over. Why are you laughing?
No, I love Dan. Like, that's the man, for real.
Okay, so I feel like I know a good amount about Dan Campbell through osmosis, through like his lore is wide ranging. But Dan Campbell, offensive play caller, you had me. I didn't know, I wasn't ready, and they cooked Washington. And it was an emotional game for them, the team that kicked them out. Like, I don't care who's out there quarterbacking or anything. I did not see him as an X's and O's offensive play caller, and I apologize for that. What do I need to know about his offensive prowess?
Dan can do all things football, okay? Like literally, he lives and breathes this game. He knows football inside and out. And being a Sean Payton guy, like coming from his tree, you're going to prepare at the highest level. Like the way that he was so meticulous and detailed on every alignment, what personnel we're getting, like this personnel is going to make them play this defense. And so he has his process for sure. Dan Campbell he was the assistant head coach when we were all in New Orleans together. So he would run meetings. It would be times Sean would just sit down with the players and Dan Campbell would run the team. So it's not like he's new to any of this. He has done these things behind the scenes before he was Dan Campbell that we all know and love. We knew him very well in New Orleans, in the locker room, in the meeting room. He can do all things football, like literally. Great coach.
So, okay, I mean, you're talking about your time in New Orleans. Like, you couldn't pry that call sheet out of Sean Payton's hands. You'll never, anywhere. He is, why, with your best guess, why did he make this change? It sounds like culture, like in that locker room, that's a pretty big change, right? To be like, I'm going to call plays this week. With your best guess, or I'm sure you know, because you know you're so plugged into everything and everywhere. Why did this happen?
Actually, Kay, it's also a Sean thing. Sean would, certain games, Pete Carroll would call plays. So, like I say, a lot of things.
Really?
Sean is he's not the most public media person when it comes to like what's happening with the team. But yes, it would be games where Pete Carroll will call play. I said Pete Carroll. Pete Carmichael will call plays, and Sean would just literally have his call sheet, and all he's going through is situational football. Several times. Many times.
This cannot be true. I can't think of a single game where I think Pete Carmichael was calling plays. How often? How often? I can't. That is like truly maybe the hardest thing to believe. Like, tell me more about that. And why would that happen? Why?
I think we had a stretch, and I can't say what year.
Okay.
Sean didn't feel like he was putting us in the best position to win offensively. Like he wasn't on it as well. He went on his game as well. And he publicly to us, like announced it, Pete Carmichael will be calling plays. He's going to take over. I'll be here. I do the situations, but Pete Carmichael, I promise. And the other Saints that can
games go?
Pete lit it up. Pete lit it up, and I can't remember exactly what team we played first, but that first game I think we had like 40 points, and we all celebrated on the sideline with Pete. Like, and
you gotta give me a year. Hamilton, get in here. We need a year. I need you to
I can find
Hamilton.
it.
Am I crazy that I feel like I'm being punked right now?
That is not something I expected here. I am seeing like some rumblings. 2016. Could that have been the year?
It could have been, yeah. It could have been around that time for sure.
When the defense was killing it, when the defense was like started celebrating in the end zone, that was 2015. No, 2016.
That was 2017. That was 2017. Yeah, there was a game you guys put up 49 points on the Rams after a couple losses.
That listen, Hamilton, that could be it right there. And we celebrated with Pete Carmichael on the sideline, like, yeah, Pete, you man, all that for sure.
I feel dumb that I did not know that. So what we're saying is it like when this is like obviously not in the, I mean, by the way, it takes a lot when you're that good of a, I mean, to me, like Sean, that just shows a lot about Sean, that he's team first, and like that can't be easy to do. I would have a hard time doing that. I have a hard time believing that happened. So credit to them for making those moves. What? And you're laughing. It's true. I'm just being honest. Are we likening it to like the spark when you have an interim coach in for a week? It's just like what does that do to change the play calling like that? And then was it a normal transition back to power? Like he handed the play calling sheet back once Sean felt like it and everything's fine. Like, what is the effect of this? Why don't we see it more often if it adds this kind of a spark, if it's about like changing it up a little bit, spicing it up in the play calling room? I get it.
Yeah, I think we as fans, we really don't see how much delegation happens when it comes to creating an offensive game plan and play calling as well. Like we know who the play caller is, but he's delegating and he is taking so much advice and direction from the rest of the staff. So these guys are, as they are formulating this game plan throughout the week, a lot of these players are coming from elsewhere. So Sean, like that wasn't a one-time thing with Pete Carmichael or come ask Drew, hey, should we run this? What play do you want to run here? Like, or come ask the O-line. What are you guys seeing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that happens from all play callers. And it, like I said, it wasn't a one-time thing for Pete Carmichael and Sean. And for Dan, it's the same thing. It's like I may be able to see the game or this game from a different viewpoint, or I know what we need to do to win this game. We got to run the ball 40 times. So let me take over and make sure we do. I'm not exactly sure the specific reason, but it's a lot of teamwork that goes into that offensive game plan.
Season high 546 total yards against the Commanders. Should he continue? So should he continue to call plays? Like, should they keep this up until it stops? Like, what should they do? Should he continue to call plays?
Listen, anything that Dan Campbell is doing, I'm supporting always. Like, I feel that strongly about the guy. I would run through a brick wall for him. So whatever he is his job, he's going to do it to the last bit of his ability for sure. So I think with knowing Dan, he will give the play calling rights back to the OC. But at any moment,
but then it becomes like, let me just stunt on you and show you what I can do. And then I don't really understand like the organization, like what's like the corporate culture effect of that? Nothing. Like Johnny Moe must be like,
but we were all there together.
Cool as fuck, I want to say. You've got to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you not
together? All in New Orleans together. Me, Johnny Moe, Dan Campbell, Sean, like Pete Carmichael, all these guys. So we all. But
something had to be going wrong with Johnny Moe for this to happen. It wasn't like, hey, I got next on Wii. Like he didn't put his like quarters on the Pac-Man machine at Pizza Hut and say, I got next. Like it's not up for grabs. Like that's your role on the team. It's working, so I don't want to question it. I do want to say we give Sean so much love, but you know what I saw in this game? The Lions, they've thrown passes before to tackles. I've seen it before. Dan Skipper, okay? He's lined up out wide yesterday. I think we have it. Did you see this? Now for a guy, do we have it? We don't have video? Okay. For a guy who owns the fastest 40 time by an O-lineman at the combine, how come Dan and Johnny Moe and Sean Payton, why didn't they use you as a weapon from time to time in New Orleans?
I'm gonna give you an exclusive here, Kay. I'm gonna give you an exclusive. Let's drop some. I'm gonna give you an exclusive here.
Yeah.
So 2018, we had a play. We had a play in for years, and we practiced it at practice several times and never got called in the game. It got called in the game one time. So 2018 NFC Championship game. We all know the infamous no call, when they didn't call pass interference. The play before that, Sean Payton calls my play.
No. What's the play call? What's it called?
Lineman special. Pass 84 lineman special.
Oh my God.
So he calls my play. Will Clapp comes into the huddle. The referee stops him. Will Clapp was just in the play before, so he cannot come in and be on the O-line because he was just at tight end the play before. He has to sit out a play. So as I'm reporting eligible, the referee is like, no, you can't. He was just eligible, so he has to go out. We call timeout. We run the no-call play. I could have been NFC Championship hero, name in lights, and it never happened. And we didn't get to the Super Bowl, but that was the only time it ever was called in a game, and it didn't happen.
I'm sorry I brought it up, but I'm so glad I brought it up because that's insane, and it's one that I can tell you want back. You want that back.
Oh, my God. That
is so crazy.
Crazy.
Can we talk about New Orleans for a second? I know it's not the sexiest topic. It's not what's leading, like, morning shows everywhere and on radio and all of that. But is Tyler the guy? Did you see anything? Like, he gets a first win. I love that for him. I know Kellen wants to evaluate him as any good coach can do. This is a second-round quarterback. From what you're seeing from Shuck, how do you feel about his chances going forward to be the guy?
I'll say this first to lead off, Kay. I'm a Spencer Rattler fan. I don't think Spencer did anything to lose the job. I think this is more about the Saints wanting to see what they have in Tyler Shuck and his draft position. With that being said, Tyler Shuck was hooping yesterday. He was balling. He played extremely well, pushed the ball down the field, which is what they wanted to see more. He gives you more of that. He has a huge arm. He can throw the ball the length of the field. So from what I saw yesterday, good win against a good Carolina Panthers team. Let's not act like the Panthers hasn't had, impressive wins themselves this year. I was impressed with Tyler and his performance, how he handled the pocket, how he was able to execute and then ultimately push the ball down the field. Chris Olave had some spectacular catches. Juwan Johnson had a big day as well. It's excitement there. It is. It's excitement there. They will take the rest of this year to see exactly what they have and how Tyler Shuck can perform and how he can analyze and diagnose defenses and feel when this pressure is coming and that blitz is coming. Like all those things that you won't know at practice. Yeah. You will not be able to get these things at practice. So he has to go in there live action. And he was impressive yesterday.
All right, love seeing it. Anything else any thoughts you want to get out? Last takeaway from Week 10. Obviously, Eagles Packers tonight. Any other takeaway we didn't hit?
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
I'm a huge basketball fan, so I stay, up to date on all things NBA.
Yeah.
I see you smile. Why are you smiling?
Because I think if you think I can talk about the NBA, I'm ready to Google because I don't even know what's going on. Tell me.
All right, what's the situation with you and Kevin Durant?
Why are you
That's what
asking?
I'm asking.
Nothing. I love him. Did he have a good? I heard he dropped 30, right?
I don't know. I didn't see the game yesterday.
Oh, he did. I think it was the Bucks, right? He had a nice 30. He prayed after the game.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
He had a great game, and I'm proud of him. He's great.
I see y'all got some great chemistry together, all that good stuff.
Best.
Friendship, yeah.
Not just like our chemistry.
For sure. No, you're right. You're right.
Who do you think wins tonight, Packers or Eagles?
Eagles.
Yeah.
The Packers has been a little too inconsistent for my choosing. So. Yeah,
they got to. Yeah, I don't know what they're going. That tush push is going to be real tonight. How many do you think will happen?
I go
between
3.
these two teams. Shit. Push. This is going to be the tush push Super Bowl. Do you like how I just took that back? We just move on to tush pushes. Terron, we love you. You're the absolute best. Everybody make sure to subscribe. You have everything on lock. We will talk, of course, I'm sure later, but I want to make sure everybody can go and subscribe to The Set with T. Stead, which we love. Thank you so much. And good luck in Madrid.
Thank you. Thank you, Kay.
Bye. You're the best. Okay.
All right.
We come back. We're back on the air and we're on the air. Okay, sounds good.
I found the play that he's talking about. You see him come out and call timeout.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, that stupid play happens.
The PI?
Yeah.
It's very few plays that I have in this noggin. That's one of them. That I actually have.
I still can't believe that happened 7 years later.
He can.
For Olave. Oh, what a one-handed grab.
What a play by Olave.
Attaboy. McCarthy. Picked off by Malachi Starks. His first career interception.
Attaboy.
And he busts away from the pack for plenty more. The longest run of his career.
Attaboy.
All right, time to dish out some Atta boys. These three players deserve a little much more love than even the internet could give them. Than any florist shop can just send them all the roses and flowers for these performances on Sunday. And I want to start with Tyrese Knight and DeMarcus Lawrence, the Seahawks combo of these two. So Knight records these 2 strip sacks of Jacoby Brissett, and that turns into scoop and scores for DeMarcus. Our text chain was lit up between Ham and I, my whole show, and I honestly, and this happened within 10 minutes of each other. This gives the Seahawks a 28-0 filthy lead before the Cardinals could even blink. So atta boys to these two. They're the first pair of teammates to combine for multiple scoop and scores in the same game in all of NFL history. And hey, DeMarcus, attaboy to you, the 4th player in NFL history to come up with 2 scoop and scores in the same game. It's insane. Jeremy Chin did it. Fred Evans of the 1948 freaking Bears did it. And Al Nesser, as we all know and love, of the 1920 Akron Pros. Those are the only guys that have ever done this, okay? And he did this against a team called the Wheeling Stogies back in 1920, okay? It all comes back to cigarettes and stogies and nicotine here on the show, but this is as rare as it gets, is what I'm trying to frame. So we love that. My next attaboy goes to one Caleb Williams. Now, the first 56 minutes of this weren't super gorgeous and sexy, but he did lead 2 scoring drives to complete the Bears' double-digit fourth quarter comeback over the Giants' 17-yard touchdown scramble. The Bears have won 5 of their last 6. It's so exciting. 4 of those 5 wins come in games when Chicago's behind. They're trailing. He likes the drama. This is a 2-minute warning dynamo here, and he's been playing his best football when it matters most. So love him for that. And my last one, let's go to the defensive side of the ball. The most intimidating player in the NFL, Danielle Hunter. Attaboy to you. The Texans' stunning comeback does not happen without Danielle Hunter being relentless AF in this effort that he brought play after play after play after play. 3.5 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, a forced fumble. He is a killer and a drive killer. He opened the door for Davis Mills and that offense to make something happen. And what do they do? All in all here, they keep the Texans in the playoff race. So we honestly don't talk about him enough in the pass rusher conversation, but I will say pound for pound he showed you yesterday. Can I go on cam to say bye? Thank you. He showed yesterday that as far as a ceiling, he is pound for pound one of the best, if not the best in the league for what he did yesterday. We'll be back tomorrow. I don't know with who or what, but big thanks to Terron Armstead. And let's have